Yeah, I'm in my own zone. It's beast mode time, so go hard or go home. I'm a beast. Yeah, I got it on my mind. See, I came here to shine, so let's get it on the grind. I'm a beast. Yeah, I'm in my own zone. It's beast mode time, so go hard or go home. I'm a beast. Yeah, I got it on my mind. See, I came here to shine, so let's get it on the grind.
And there you have it, another intro song picked by our number one team. William Plunkett chooses I'm a Beast by T. Powell. Great intro song, and keep them coming, Will, because, right, if we kind of look at the records, you'll probably be number one next week no matter what happens. You've got a, 50-some, close 50-point lead on Clint with a win up. So even if you lose, Clint would have to exceed you by 50 points. That could be a tough mark. So no matter what happens, you'll probably be number one again next week. So keep those song choices coming, Will. So, all right, guys, welcome to week 8 predictions as we start a new week here. So we just hit, the halfway point. No matter how well or how well you didn't do, you can kind of hit the reset button and, focus on having a better second half. For some of us, I guess for some of them, well, let's say Will and Clint, for example, off to great starts for the year, being 6-1 and 5-2. And then there's a handful of us at 4-3, which, it could be worse, right? Ian, Adam, Josh, myself, John. We could be 3-4. We could be 2-5. We could be winless. So it could be worse. I know some of us have had some bad beats and have had to deal with a bunch of injuries, but we'll make it through. And really, if we do exactly what we did and we all finish, let's say 8-6, which probably mathematically it's probably possible. I think the top 6 could probably finish that way. At least that's how the last year for sure in the league finished. Actually, I think we did. We had 2. Yeah, all the way down to 7. We had about 8-6, and one of the teams didn't make it. And anyways, it all really depends, right? How top heavy and how bottom heavy the league is with wins and what it looks like in the middle. So, all right, enough said about that. We've talked about the rankings. We know who's number one. We know Will continues to be the powerhouse, the beast in the league. But let's look then at week 8 here and see, is Will going to keep up his winning streak? Which I think is back to 1 after losing 1. Something like that. Anyways, let's jump into it. We'll save mine to the end. And we'll jump into Adam versus Dez. And Dez, you're killing me, man. We're back to Hawk Tua. We have the picture. I've got to look at her. Every time I look at Sleeper, being the commissioner, I'm on here 10 times a day. Typically throughout most of the days, just double checking things and looking at players and predictions and recaps and all that stuff. And now I got to look at that darn picture once again. So just based on that alone, I wanted to pick Adam to win. It would be an upset, especially after kind of the start. And Dez already has 37 points, but let's do what we're supposed to do and actually break it down a little bit. So I say quarterback. Pretty even. Darnold's already played 18 points, pretty decent. Murray's projected to be about the same. I definitely give the edge of running back to Dez, Mixon, Kamara. Definitely think that, should help. Right, that was running back. Wide receiver, I said, for the most part, is a toss-up. It will be close. I think it'll be close. And, Dez is projected to win by about 13 points. But I do think, based on the start that Dez already has, right, with having a quarterback already play, having Jefferson already at 19 points, that's enough to go ahead and, I think, win. So, although I want to pick against you, Dez, I can't. And we'll say Dez gets the win this week, and that would move him up to 4-4 and back in close to playoff position, right? All right, next then we've got Jay versus Jeremy. Let's see. Jeremy's already had some points scored, but he's not projected to score many points on the week here. So let's see. Oh, yeah, Jeremy, I put a big old note on there. So it doesn't show it on here, right? Because it doesn't show your IR spot. But, man, keeping Puka on the IR spot and not putting him in and ended up having a really good night. that probably hurt you. I know it was probably, they were all saying, right, he was on a snap count and, may not play a ton. It was going to based on they weren't supposed to win that game. And of course, all of that went out the window, I think, just because they actually played really well and ended up winning. And Puka and Cooper Kupp ended up having pretty good nights. So, but outside of that, I'm saying the quarterback's pretty much a toss-up. And then I'm giving the running back edge. Jay, White, who just, out of nowhere last week. Of course, we know the stories. I don't want to talk about it again. Jay has strong wide receivers. I know Jeremy's got an empty spot on here that I'm sure he'll fill before we start here. But, I'm going to give the edge to Jay. He's projected more points, only 115, but I think that's going to be enough to win. So Jay gets the win, and that would move him to 3-5. So still possibility for this year. So next, our number one team, William Plunkett versus John I Hate Kickers Robinson, who is in at 4-3. And we all know, right, we talk about this, that it's hard to pick against Will. I know the projections don't even show him here as winning this week, and said John's going to, have a better chance. And I think that's all because, he's got a player right now that shows an out. I'm sure he'll make an adjustment, and that will that'll probably even it up or be a lot closer. Quarterback, wide receiver, I say is pretty much a toss-up between these two, especially who they're kind of playing, the defenses, things like that. Debo playing Dallas. I'm actually hoping has a great week since I'm probably starting Purdy on my team for this week, so I actually would like a huge week from him this week. Running back, we always give that edge to Will. It's hard to pick against that with Barkley and Henry, always projected to be 16, 17 points. John having Kelsey should definitely have that advantage on his end. With all that being said, though, I know it says John's going to win. We can't, we don't, we shouldn't pick against Will, so we're not going to. We're going to say Will keeps rolling, gets the win, finds a way to win throughout this. And you know what would be fun? Let's scroll down to it. I'm going to say it. Will wins because of his kicker. Why not? Right, John? That would just be amazing and a great week, and would make you love kickers even more. All right, continuing to move down, we've got Josh versus Jake. Oh, let's see. They're both projected to barely score 100 points. Rough. Josh already had someone play and scored him 1 point. If I remember right, that's his defense. Sure was. Minnesota. Rough. 1 interception and 28 points allowed. So that's rough. Let's look at the breakdown. So, of course, we'll give the defense advantage to Jake. We normally don't talk about defense, but I guess in this point, Jake will probably outscore him for defense. Quarterbacks, wash, pretty close to each other. Baker can, put up points with the best of them at any given time, and Mahomes is not having a great year, but would be consistent enough. I say wide receivers, pretty much a toss-up as well between the two. Flowers, Dell, Higgins can have a great week. Waddle, right, Tua's back, should have a better week. Running back advantage does go to Josh. Yeah, by enough, I think. Maybe not a ton, but by enough. And then let's see. No, that was pretty much it between my notes here. And so who's going to win? Josh is favored to win by a couple of points, but I'm actually picking Jake here. Josh, officially off your bandwagon. You don't have to worry about it. No, I'm not even picking you to win. So hopefully all of that goes in your favor to get me away from any damage that I'm doing to your team throughout the year. And I'm picking Jake here. Why? This is just typically where Jake wins. When he's not supposed to, and he just comes out of nowhere and wins and upsets and all that. And I think that's what's going to happen this week. So I'm picking Jake with the upset win over Josh. Next, we've got Clint versus Sean. 2 hot teams as of right now. I know Clint's 5-2 and Sean's 3-4, but again, Sean may have not won every single week, but definitely getting better and heading in the right direction. Between these two, let's see, big advantage already, right, is when you already have a player play and they score a good amount of points. And I know it's not exactly what Sean wanted to start the week out by having Williams already have almost 23 points, but that puts Clint in a really good spot already. So you got to give Clint really the advantage in running back, even though we know Gibbs, Walker, could equal that, if not exceed it. But already with having a player score that high, I'm giving that edge to Clint, along with quarterback on there. Goff could have a huge week. It's Tennessee, who isn't great. They're 1-5 on the year, so could have a great week. Will probably not have many incompletions like he normally does, but just may not have a ton of touchdowns, and that could go to Gibbs. So who knows? Wide receiver, I am giving that edge to Sean, Wilson, McLaurin, even Sutton. I mean, they're all projected, right? 12 to 14 to 15 points. So I'll give that edge to Sean. This one was a tough one. This is probably the hardest one I had to pick between because I like parity in the league, right? I like not to be too top heavy, which would make me want to go with Sean and just say, Sean wins to move to 4-4 and drops Clint down to 5-3 and just makes it a big old cluster. But then on the other end, I'm one of those teams fighting at 4-3 going, maybe the two being top heavy in the league, having two teams way up there means there's going to be a lot of losses to other teams. So it means the bottom part should also be out of reach, and it makes the playoff picture maybe a little bit easier to focus on. But, it's way too early in the season to worry about that. So I'm just going to pick with my head, not my heart, and we're going with Clint here, mostly because he already had a player play and scored well. You kind of look at that, meaning he's already had a player who didn't F up the week. Lived up to his expectations and beyond there, in which, Gibbs and Walker, not saying they're going to have bad weeks, but maybe they don't live up to the points that they have on there. Clint already had somebody that already exceeded. So we'll go with that, and we'll give Clint the win on here. And that would move him to 6-2, trying his best to keep up with Will. Last one, myself versus Ian. Two teams 4-3, both really needing a win. Both teams, we're looking pretty. It seemed like just a few weeks ago and have had some struggles. We're both in the same spot there, Ian. A loss would put us at 4-4. We don't want that. That would be in a mix of, if Sean ends up pulling the win, I think Dez would be 4-4. There's a ton of people then hovering right around that 500 mark, and you don't want to be that here. To be, 5-3, I think would be, still probably top 4 or so and be above that cluster in the middle. So we both want this win, and it's going to be even. Unfortunately, probably more even than I would like it to be. I just made the swap and put Purdy as my starting quarterback. I've got a while to decide if that's the route I'm going to go, benching Dak, which, he was my keeper, so I definitely didn't think I was going to do that. But, it's that time of the year where you got to play smart, play with your head, not with your heart, all that good stuff. So quarterback, I am giving the edge, though, to Ian, even though it says Purdy's going to outscore him. I'm not buying that. I do think Stroud probably ends up having the better day when it's done. Running backs, pretty much a toss-up. Definitely with having Hunt now on my team, who's been pretty consistent. That's been kind of nice to plug in, playing against Vegas. So hopefully that means another 2-touchdown day and so on. Giving the edge of wide receivers to myself. Oh, Tyreek, projected for 19 points. That's awesome, man. I mean, right, for those of us that have had, Tyreek Hill and Waddle and just trying to deal with going through getting Tua back in the lineup, it's nice to see it, and hopefully it stays. We hope he stays healthy, and that's what's the smart move, to continue his career and not end it based on, what he really wants to do and for the safety of himself and his family, and I hope so. I hope he comes in just like he never left. And Tyreek then starts scoring those 20, 25-point games, 30-point games that he's supposed to be, because I drafted him so early and that we're hoping that we need back on this team. So I'm giving that edge to myself. We will say tight end edge does go to to Ian with Kittle, who had just shy of under 13 points. I think he does outscore Ferguson. So long story short, I'm giving the edge to myself. Same story as what I just said for Clint. I had Kupp already play. He scored 16 points. He didn't F it up. He's already put up, exceeded what he was supposed to do. And that's one, nice to have and nice to see. But then two, you can kind of bank on that, it wasn't a player already who you don't know if he's going to actually live up to expectations. So I'm going to take that as the edge and say I'm going to win this week, move myself to 5-3 and drop Ian down to 4-4. So there you have it. Winners, right? Dez, despite his name change and pick. Jay wins, Will wins, Jake Clint, and myself all win this week. So just a couple of keynotes. Also, as we end here, there's no 9:30 game this week. Fantastic. I mean, I don't know what you guys feel about 9:30. I've always actually thought, like, what if we lived on the West Coast, right, where it's, 3 hours, time difference? So the 1 o'clock games actually start at 10. Would I love that? I thought I would, but I don't know. Sometimes it seems like I'm stressed to then try to, get my lineup set before that 9:30 game, even though typically I don't have, if I do have anybody playing, because they're not usually the prime teams in the league, I may only have one person playing, but maybe that's just a little too early. You'd have to change your whole mindset. Probably have your team 100% set right the night before and ready to go. I don't know. But all I can say is some of those games have been just brutal to watch with the teams that we've chosen to put over there. And then, it's just the games are ugly. Some of them, not all of them, but I'm kind of glad, though, that's over as of right now, at least for this week. Tomorrow, we don't have a 9:30 game. The other big news, of course, we talked about, Tua's back. Excited for that. Yeah, definitely. Hill and Waddle should have hopefully bigger roles in the offense again and may actually get the ball now. We'll see. We'll see what that looks like, but I'm excited for that. And then, of course, the Lions game, right? Lions sitting at 5-1. They play the Titans 1-5. If they win, right? They're expected to. I don't have it in front of me, but I thought the spread was like 11.5. And so they're pretty big, favorites to win the game. That moves them to 6-1. And then I don't remember if the Packers can lose and the Bears can lose, because the Vikings already lost. I mean, it gives the Lions a little bit of an edge, a little bit of a cushion, as they're already sitting number one in the division, but a little bit more. So just a great year to be a Lions fan, which is awesome. Especially since, Michigan, unfortunately, is underperforming this year, but it's pretty much exactly where we knew we'd be. And of course, a shout out, because we have to, right? It's rivalry week. I know we've got some state fans in this league. We've got some Michigan fans in this week, and that actually should be a fun game to watch tonight. Probably the closest that matchup has been in years. And, there's not definitely a heavy favorite. And I think I'm hoping it'll be a fun game to watch. But, of course, you guys know what I'm rooting for and how I hope the outcome comes. I don't mind it being a close game and, some fun and even high scoring, which, with the defenses probably won't be that. But as long as Michigan comes out on top, there's just a few games throughout the year. And even when Michigan isn't great, this is the game that I always circle for the year. It's like, man, even if you're having a down year, for the love of God, you've at least got to beat Michigan State. Having a down year and losing to Michigan State and Ohio State, that's tough to bear throughout the year. So this is the one game. Like, if we need a win, if there's one game that's a must win, it is this game. So you guys know I'll be cheering for it. And actually, the funny thing is, the family and I are actually going to Lansing this weekend to go to a museum and possibly the zoo and stuff out there for this weekend for Halloween. And so yeah, I'll be in Lansing, but darn well I'll be when I'm out and about, I'll be wearing all my Michigan gear, supporting the game, and then making sure we're back to the hotel in time to watch the game, as it is 7:30 tonight. So all right, guys, that's all we've got. We'll turn it back over to Will's choice of song, "I'm a Beast," to round out this week's video.
Step up in the building, swagger on point, right? Put your seatbelt on, cause it's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long fight, but then again, maybe not, cause I stepped in my zone when I pulled into the parking lot. I'm about to get it in, yeah, I got it on my mind. Let's end this thing in regulation. I ain't thinking overtime, cause I didn't work overtime, and I ain't trying to overgrind. I transform the beast mode just like Optimus Prime. I came here to ball hard, I love this game, it's all I got. That's why I'm going all out and give it everything I got. Yeah, I give it all I got, as if it was my only shot. I play the game to win, to the end, until I pass out, whichever just might come first. Quitting's never on my mind, I put my heart in this, that's why I lay it all on the line. So look me in the eyes, please don't be surprised that I push it to the limit or until I reach the prize, cause I'm a beast. Yeah, I'm in my own zone, it's beast mode time, so go hard or go home. I'm a beast. Yeah, I got it on my mind, see I came here to shine, so let's get it on the grind. I'm a beast. Yeah, I'm in my own zone, it's beast mode time, so go hard or go home. I'm a beast. Yeah, I got it on on my mind. See, I came here to shine, so let's get it on the grind. Yeah, I'm back with a vengeance.